Hey guys, Dan and Tommy here with Limitless PT Specialists. Today we're going to talk about working on a stiff shoulder, or maybe someone told you you have a frozen shoulder. Sometimes these can be really painful, and a nice way to start with these again is with some isometric exercises. This tends to help make a really sensitive shoulder feel less sensitive, okay? So Tommy's going to demonstrate 3 movements here. The first one he's going to do is just a push straight into the rack there. You could use the wall or a door frame, something like that. So what Tommy's doing is pushing straight forward and holding that for about 30 seconds. We're going to get 3 rounds for 30 seconds. Now, as you're doing these isometric exercises, it's really important that your pain level doesn't increase too much. So we like to tell people that if it increases by 2 or 3 points on a 0 to 10 pain scale, that's safe and okay to do. Otherwise, you might be pushing too hard. The next one Tommy's going to demonstrate is going to kind of be pushing outward. So he's going to put the back of his hand on there, and it would be as if he was pushing out against the rack or against the wall. Same thing, 3 sets, 30 seconds each. And lastly, he's going to pull inward here, and he's going to create his own resistance where he's pulling in toward the rack, and you're feeling a lot of tension there. If you do these right, it should really make your shoulder feel fatigued, and it should actually make your pain level feel better as you do it. Awesome. So next we're going to go ahead and grab a little bit of a weight maybe that, yeah, great. And Tommy's going to demonstrate just a pendulum. So he's just going to let his arm be really loose, really dangly. And there's no real right or wrong to do with this. It's just to create a little bit of traction on the joint space, or a little bit of feel good on a sore shoulder. This tends to feel really good even on a very cranky shoulder. It tends to make people feel better. So you can do 10 or 15 of those, and you could do that even periodically throughout the day. The next one's a stretch. We just use a little stick. You could use a broomstick or a golf club at home. Tommy's going to lay on his back here, knees bent up. He's going to tighten his belly muscles up just a little bit so his back doesn't arch. And then he's going to go ahead and reach overhead with the pipe, keeping his elbows stiff until he feels a nice stretch. And then he's going to repeat that kind of back and forth. Same thing, we're looking for gradually increasing the range of motion, not forcing it, just taking what motion is available at the time for your shoulder. Awesome. Next time he's going to grab that kettlebell. If you don't have a kettlebell, you could hold a dumbbell on its end. It's really important that you feel safe with this though. So sometimes I have people take their other hand and hold it up kind of like a spotter if they're not stable enough. Tommy's pretty good, so he might not need that right now. What I want him to do now is just turn that back and forth like he's turning a screwdriver or turning a light bulb maybe. And notice a really important piece, Tommy's lifting his shoulder blade off the table or reaching up toward the ceiling as he's doing that exercise. And that's a really nice way to engage the rotator cuff and work the shoulder muscles there. Great job. Last thing here, Tommy's going to use a resistance band connected to the rack here so that he can show us a kind of a dynamic stretch for his shoulder. So he's going to go ahead and put a towel under his left elbow. And what he's going to do is just let the resistance of the top of the band pull him out into a stretch. So he brings it in and then slowly lets that come out for a stretch. So although this is a resistance exercise, the main point of this is actually to give a nice stretch into that external rotation, which is oftentimes painful when you have a stiff shoulder. So if you move slowly and keep the resistance relatively light for this exercise, it's very safe and it's a nice way to loosen up a stiff shoulder. Thanks a lot, guys. That kind of wraps things up for our exercises to take care of a stiff shoulder or a frozen shoulder. Wish you guys all the best, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.